Hi everybody, welcome to another game video review on Low on Health. This is kind of basically me going over what games I've played recently. Kind of hitting the backlog of games I've played recently, but this next pair is actually something I was kind of waiting to kind of time right, because these are two games that came out around the exact same time and kind of both kind of have the same genre. This is basically kind of like the arcade racers. This is going to be SplitSecond and Blur. So let me just go ahead and start video on this real quick. I played them both on the 360. This first is going to be, of course, SplitSecond. Down a little bit there. Now, SplitSecond was okay. I mean, it has decent visuals, really good set pieces, really big kind of levels with stuff going on and stuff exploding, and that's kind of cool. What really disappointed me the most about this particular game was basically there's no kind of difficulty setting. So there's basically the game and that's it. I've been kind of spoiled with Forza Motorsport and having all the different options and different sliders to kind of tweak the game to your play. Now with SplitSecond, you basically charge up a meter and then you can use that meter to cause events to happen on the track, like an exploding barrel or a building to fall down, and that basically is how you damage or block or kind of like circumvent your opponents. The problem with that mechanic is you can only do it ahead of you. You can't really, if somebody's right by the side of you, you can't easily take them out or do anything. And you can actually wreck yourself too if you happen to drive into your own explosions. So the problem is that what usually happens with most of the matches is that you'll be in first, doing great, and this game has huge rubber banding effect where basically right at the end, that all the AI opponents basically start just throwing everything at you. And you can't do anything about it. There are no back attacks. There's nothing defensive that you can do. Hey, look. Firefox an update. That's professional. There were no back attacks, so you can't really defend your position, and I really hated that. And after the third time of losing a match right at the end, even though multiple times I had my meter filled up and I wanted to hit the opponents that were ahead of me, but they didn't sync up with any type of barrels or like events to kind of throw them off, and I really, really hated that. And then, of course, I'd be in first or second, and then a couple of enemies would just throw their crap at me, explode a building or a barrel, whatnot. I'd spin out and they just blew past me and I'd lose the match. Definitely did not enjoy that. It was too easy to lose. Kind of the viewpoints for the cars too were really kind of close. I'm trying to think what else I have here real quick. I did enjoy the quick event selection. Like if you were to lose an event, it would kind of quickly put you into a new event. Like you don't have to back out to a different menu screen or whatnot. So that was kind of cool. But that was a big issue, is just basically not being able to trigger the attacks to hit your enemies when you wanted to. It would just suck because you could hear them right next to you, you could see them coming up right by you, but you couldn't do anything, and that was just really, really aggravating, and I couldn't stand it. But that's SplitSecond. Moving on here, let's go ahead and talk about the next game, which is going to be Blur. And like I mentioned before, these were two games, came out exactly around the kind of the same week or two, and they're both kind of racers, basically kind of arcade racers. Now, Blur is, of course, made by the people that did Geometry Wars, and the game looks fantastic. Basically, it's very vibrant, it's very neon, it's very stylistic, and I really enjoy that. But what's cool about this one, this is a classic, old-school kind of Mario Kart type game, and that's the best game to equate it to, is like Mario Kart, because you even have some of the abilities. You have the red shell, the lightning, the mines, you kind of have them all there. The boost, you have all your classic power-ups. The cars look amazing, and the tracks are cool, and it's just a solid racer. I'm trying to think what... I mean, it's very artistic. It also does this cool thing, like, it has a lot of stat progression. Turn this down a little bit more. Like, it keeps track of all your different stats, all your grinds and everything, all your fan pleasings, and that's really cool. I like constantly leveling up your fans and just basically having that number there to kind of work towards. What else was there? Sorry, I had the notes here for a second. Oh yeah, when you come back to the game, like say you play the game for a night, you come back to it, it actually does this previously on Blur montage, where basically it shows all your recent unlocks, what events you've unlocked, and basically kind of what you did in your last play session. They kind of refresh you, oh yeah, I unlocked this car, or I did that, and that's really cool. I really like that, like, hey, when you were last playing, this is what you did, especially for like an arcade or type of sports type of game. That was really cool. It definitely has a difficulty options. You can easily select between easy, normal, and hard. You can, at any time you can select that, and it's really cool. There's not a lot of rubber banding in the game. Oh yeah, all those little power-ups that I mentioned before, they're evenly balanced. You can basically use them for like offensive stuff and almost defensive. They almost always have a front attack and a back attack, which is just awesome. Even the boost has a back attack, where basically if you want to do like a power slide, you can back attack the boost and kind of spin around quicker, which is just awesome. You can really pull off some cool drifts doing that. What else we got here? The cool thing also, like I mentioned before, the Split Second had a big rubber banding issue where you could be in first and then the AI would just overpass you. This, none whatsoever. If you knock your opponents out and do really well and play smart, you can get a commanding lead and they won't magically get ahead of you. The only thing they can throw stuff at you, but you can defend back, you can shoot stuff back at it, and that's really cool. I enjoy basically having that defensive mode, and there's also power-ups and stuff you can use when they're right next to you, and stuff. I really like that. Also, the cars felt actually different. Like, they definitely control different. They just, actually, I don't know, it was just weird. Like, playing the game, going from each different car, they felt different. And I don't know the best way to equate that, but I just noticed it and I thought it was worth mentioning. Also, a lot of the races have up to almost an average 20 racers in a match, which is really interesting to have that many basically computer AI opponents. And the cool thing is they definitely go after each other, and I like that. They didn't kind of just go after you. So you could actually see just the chaos, and that was really neat. I mean, like the lowest match I saw was maybe, besides the one-on-ones, was basically like 12 racers on a map, and it was just really cool to have that many racers. On most of the time 20, and it was just really cool just to see that chaos. So you're almost always trying to overtake somebody, and there's almost always to take out. And like I said before, it's basically Mario Kart HD, in which case that's not a bad thing. A lot of us love Mario Kart. This is essentially what it is. I mean, if I had a dedicated crew of, if I was into racing, like the Forza Motorsport and whatnot, I want to have a more arcadey feel, this would be it. I definitely enjoyed it more than like the Burnout series. And it's just really cool. Blur. I definitely recommend it. Let's go ahead and close that down real quick. Now what I want to do real quick is just go over the games real quick. Split Second. Presentation I gave an 8 because it did have some cool set pieces. The design and gameplay, the design I gave a 7 because it was still a average design. But like I said, the gameplay I gave a notch down to just because of the rubber banding and you can't really attack your opponents. And then that kind of gives a total an 8.76, so that gives it a total of 7, a solid 7. For Blur, straight 8 across the board. Great visual, decent, average visuals, great visuals actually, just good. It's hard to equate your whole number system to actually words and everything, but solid 8. So basically, Blur, solid 8. Split Second, not that great. If I had to pick in between the two, I definitely would recommend Blur to anybody. Split Second kind of has the cool blowy out mentality, but as a competitive racer, it wasn't there. But Blur was kind of overall package and whatnot, and each game had different modes, but I'm not going to go into details. But that's really about it. I'm just going to do those, and like I said, I'm doing these every now and then to supplement my writing views, because it's easier for me to talk like this than it is to actually write and type, sad as it is. But as always, thank you guys for watching and commenting, and I will catch you next time.